Have you always wanted to start a World War II reenactment or reenactment in total? And have you always wondered, but how? How can I do this fun things? How can I buy these uniforms? Where can I buy these uniforms? How do I join a group? Well, all those questions are going to be answered in this video because I have put together 5 main steps of how to start World War II reenactment, and I'm going to give you some very useful tips at the end, so be sure to keep watching. But for now, let's get straight into the video. Transition time again. So, common mistake I see when people want to start World War II reenactment is they just want to do everything. They just want to do that and that and that. And eventually they will do nothing or find nothing and they will just stop, which would be very sad because it's a wonderful hobby where you can meet a lot of great friends. But how do you start this? Well, the first thing I would advise is just think about what am I interested in. Am I more interested in American, or do I want to do German, or do I want to do English or Canadian or British and English is the same, or Italian perhaps. So first think, which side do I want to do? Eventually you can maybe go to 2 sides as well, maybe American and German. But choose one in the beginning because it's a very expensive hobby. So if you're gonna choose 2 impressions in the one, you're gonna have like 2 half impressions and neither one is going to look good. So choose one so you can have one good impression and then later you can start another impression. So the first step, choose what you want to do. Choose which country and which kind of soldier you want to display. Do you want to be airman? Do you want to be airborne? Do you want to be an infanterist? Do you want to be an MP? Or what else? Or German? Do you want to be Luftwaffe, Heer, Kriegsmarine? Choose. You need to have like a kind of idea in your head, like what do I want to do before you start looking for groups. Otherwise it will just be that search and eventually you get tired and you will stop searching. So that was step 1. Let's now get further to step 2 and be sure to keep watching because step 4 and step 5 are some really good steps, so be sure to keep watching. So now you know which thing you want to do. You want to do, perhaps let's take for this example now, American 1st Infantry. So there are a couple of ways because step 2 is actually finding a group. And that's the difficult part because most of the people know what they want to do, but they don't know where can I find these groups. Well, there are 2 ways I think you can go about this. One thing I'm less fan of, the other one I'm very fan of. The one I'm very fan of is go to reenactment events as just the public to go watch, and if it's a living history event, every group will have like a kind of display going on. And you will just start walking and maybe, if you are lucky, you find there a group that demonstrates the unit you want to do. So you just start talking with them, talk about do they want new members in their group, do they have maybe social media, who are the members of that group, are they nice people. So just start talking with people of that group and eventually you will maybe get a chance to join the group or to go with them on an event so they can like kind of know you better and so go on further until you're actually a member of the group. The second, which I'm a little bit less fan of but still a good way, is to contact the group online. So there are a lot of groups who have Facebook pages, you have some groups who have actually a website, so you have a lot of groups that are online. So you can start searching them. In my opinion, the best platform to find them is on Facebook. You can go, there are many Facebook groups on reenactment things, so that's certainly a tip I'm going to leave you later on to do your research. Facebook is a very good place. But also just to find these groups, I know a Facebook group that just specializes in, you just give your information like I am Dirk perhaps, and I live in Belgium, in that side of Belgium, and I want to do German reenactment. And they're just going to give you some options like you have these and these groups in that area. So Facebook is a very good place to find your group, the group you want to join, and then you just start talking with them, maybe send a message to one of the members of that group and just start talking with them, and eventually you will maybe have the chance as well to join the group. For now, step 3, from now on it gets very interesting, so keep watching. And again, transition time. Okay, we're back again. Step 3 is, I think it's like kind of before the very fun stuff comes. So step 3 is doing your research. So you have to find a group, and they demonstrate the 1st Infantry Division. I think you're not going to know everything about the 1st Infantry Division, or maybe you will know a lot about them, but just their history perhaps. Well, now is the time to start researching everything. So research, what did they wear? Where did they went? Because of course you know a little bit of the history, but if you can specify, like very into the history of your unit, like you can say, okay, they perhaps landed in Normandy, then went to there, and eventually ended there. It's going to give a good impression in the group as well when you join their group, because they will see, okay, he has done his research. It wasn't just, oh, ta-da-la-la, I have bought my uniform, let's go. No, you have actually done research, and that's very important to have a good impression, because there is a term in this world of reenactment you don't want to be called, and that's farm. Farm essentially means when you see somebody who wears something that's not correct for the time or is completely wrong, like a German soldier walking around with an M1 Garand perhaps, or American soldiers running around with M42 style helmets on their head. Well, it just it isn't right, or you are wearing the wrong gear, then you getting called farm. So how can you prevent this? There are a lot of books made on what the infantry will take, perhaps again the 1st Infantry. Go search online on books that cover what kind of uniforms did they use. Did they use the M43 or the older one? What did they wear perhaps on D-Day if they are doing a D-Day impression? So just go search and which time period, and just go search about your uniform and all that kind of things. So for now, let's get further to step 4, the fun stuff, where the fun stuff begins, and do a special transition this time. Oh damn it. Yeah, well, just like it's not a real Garand, because otherwise it wouldn't get stuck, but no. You have let me down. Again. Technical difficulties. So again, transition time, step 4. Step 4 is where the fun stuff begins. Because step 4 is actually buying your uniform, and you haven't experienced happiness if you haven't, like, the feeling when you buy your uniform or have your tunic in your hands or your helmet in your hands for the first time. It's such a nice feeling. So my step 4 is buy your research, buy your group. So now you have done the research, so you know what your unit wears, but I would still advise you to ask maybe members of the group. Like in my group, where I am, they are very nice people, and there are a lot of people that know a lot about, especially the German side, and they always help me if I ask, like, I can call them now and ask, okay, which belt buckle do I need? And they will answer, so very nice people. But I would also advise on going to the internet and maybe ask some YouTuber, or there are some YouTubers and TikTokers as well, who make some very good content. I'm going to give them now the credits they deserve, because they are making a lot of good content, and they are very handy if you want to start reenactment. So the first one I have here on my list is BRULLDOZER. BRULLDOZER is a good friend of mine. I have seen him a couple of times already, and he's a very nice guy. If you have any questions on German reenactment, maybe not from history, but purely from like, which is the best place to buy my belts, which is the best place to buy this kind of piece for my uniform, where is the best place to buy my tunic. He is very experienced and has a lot of knowledge on uniforms, especially on the German side, like which are the best reenactment shops to buy them. The second I was going to give is, if you just want to know how to do reenactment better as an American, I would advise looking at the US GI Reenactors guide. Personally, when I started reenactment, I watched them a lot, and they are very nice guys. I don't know them personally, but if I watch their videos, it's very informational, and it's just a very good account. So be sure to check them out. And the last one And perhaps one of the best ones, if you want to start German reenactment, is World War II history and reenactment. Again, I don't know this guy personally, but I have watched his videos for a long time. He's a very nice guy. If I look at his videos, he makes a lot of good content, and he also made his own version of how to start a reenactment, but specifically on German. And he has some very good content on what places to buy, what you need to buy, which research you can do. So be sure to check him out because he's a very good YouTuber. So for now, that was step 4. So just ask people in your group, do research online, because there are some shops that are notorious for having bad stuff. Like one of them is Epic Militaria, has some not so good stuff on German. So do your research in which places you can buy, and maybe go to their YouTube, perhaps BRULLDOZER. If you send him a message on Instagram, he will always respond. Also, if you send me a message on Instagram, I am from Belgium, so if you have any questions for reenactment stuff and you live in Belgium, you can always contact me, because I know some very good places where you can buy your uniforms we have in Belgium. So for now, step 4, buy your uniform. And step 5 is just going to be also a very good tip. So let's go. Transition time. So step 5. So step 5 is not really step, but still. Go and enjoy your reenactment, because reenactment is truly one of the greatest hobbies that exist. I joined my reenactment group, I think in this summer I joined them, and I did already a couple of reenactment events with them, and it's honestly been the best time of my life. Together with them on weekends and doing fun stuff, talking about World War II history, because you're basically just with a group of guys wearing complete uniforms, all with their part of knowledge about World War II. So together you make like a great team, and you can explain stuff to the public, and it's just a very fun hobby. So that are just the tips I want to give at last. Is one is improve along the way. What do I mean with that? It's a very expensive hobby. Like, take perhaps my German uniform, I now do Volksum, so I don't have a lot. I don't even have a tunic or official brooks. I have a Zeilbahn, some equipment, but not all, and I am already, I think, above 200 euros, and I need to buy a lot more, so it's a very expensive hobby. So try to improve along the way. I always say when people ask, yeah, what do I need to buy everything and start directly at the best? In my opinion, no, because you will buy mistakes, and those are very expensive mistakes. Like you will buy the wrong things, or you will buy tunics they didn't use, and then you have like a tunic from 140 euros and you can't use them, and that would be a waste of time. So what I would advise is buy a basic. Just go as basic as possible, and then improve along the way. And then if you think your impression is complete, which it will never be, you will always find new things, and or you will see, oh, that's how they perhaps wore their bayonet, or that's how where they put their steel handgranate. So you can always improve, but start basic and improve along the way, and when you think you are happy with your impression, then maybe you can start another impression. So you can just do, like I have my airborne impression and my Volksum impression, and those two are just going to evolve along the way. And then also, I was thinking, what other tips do I have? But I think it might be interesting for you to have some other people telling me tips. And I asked my good friend, History One Girl, as I said in the previous video, so go check that out. I made a video where I camped the whole day in original what I'm saying, in German uniform as Volkstum. It was a very nice video, so go check that out. But I asked her what are some tips, because she does reenactment much longer than me, I think about 4 years already. And I asked her what is a good way to start reenactment, and she gave one of the best tips I could think. If it's okay with your group, you can maybe start as a civilian or as a resistance member, because as a resistance member the only thing you need is some old clothing, which maybe cost 20 euros if you go look at thrift shops and everything, and just some kind of weaponry that they could use. That's maybe the expensive thing that you would have. And even not even everybody of the resistance would have weapons. So if you are just carrying maybe an old basket with documents, you will also have a kind of impression. And then you can improve, so you can participate. And if you think, okay, reenactment is really my thing, then you can start buying your uniforms and you can constantly grow. And that's what I like so much about her tip, because you can just grow further and you don't buy your complete uniform already. Because I know some people who bought a uniform, were very excited, spent I think around 2,000 euros on their uniform, which is not a crazy number, if perhaps. And then they did a reenactment in the event and they were like, oh, scheiße, I don't like this, I don't want to do it, it's not fun. You also have just a complete uniform, which is very expensive and it's a replica, so you don't have anything to do with it. Well, my German uniform now stands here on Michael because it just looks a little bit better for my collection, but I'm never going to say, yeah, it's an original one, it's an original one, and it's much cooler to have an original one. So, but still, buy your uniform, not directly, maybe do some research first and ask if the group, if it's okay, you do a civilian first and then grow to a soldier. So that were the four steps I would give. So go check out the 3 channels I recommended. So BRULLDOZER, USGI Reenactors Guide, and World War II History and Reenactment. And also go check out What History One Girl. She has a YouTube account, she has a TikTok account, an Instagram account. She's basically everywhere. So go check her out. She's also a very nice girl and makes some very good content. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this will get you a reenactment, because honestly reenactment is a very nice hobby. You will make a lot of new friends, and if you are open you will learn a lot of new things, and you will also have this cool stuff like German boots, Volksturm armband, an M1 helmet. So for now, if this was the video, I hope you enjoyed. Sorry guys, there were some technical difficulties as you saw. My phone suddenly decided to stop filming. So what I was saying, just it's a very nice hobby. You will be able to learn a lot and just enjoy it, because if you enjoy it, it will be the best time of your life. Going on those weekends, making trenches, explaining to the public, participating in those crazy battles with bullets flying around. Well, not really, but kind of. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this will get you a reenactment, and if you did find this video interesting, leave a comment below, and also go check out the other videos I have, as you see right here, and maybe give a subscribe because it's completely free and you will not miss any of my future videos. So for now, have a happy new year and let's go further. World War II out.